Now, continuing with his visit, Czech President Miloš Zeman met with his Israeli counterpart Reuven Rivlin today, where the two discussed their country's ongoing and strengthening relations. But Zeman also took a moment to address his views on the two-state solution, saying that as long as Hamas is in power, there's no such thing.
For many, many decades, there is a discussion about two independent states, but frankly speaking, I do not see independent state in Gaza Strip, because I understand Hamas as a terroristic organization and not as a state.
Joining me now in the studio with more is the founder and executive director of the Israel Institute for Strategic Studies, Dr. Martin Sherman. Dr. Sherman, thanks so much for coming back.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right, so let's just start off with you've been saying for a very long time that there is no two-state solution. You've been saying, incentivize immigration, that Israel should have annexed the Gaza Strip a long time ago, and never should have left. So what are your initial reactions to Zeman, and why do other EU leaders not seem to agree with him?
Well, first of all, I certainly welcome his statement, and I hope this is the first swallow in this spring of realization and return to common sense. Clearly, the jury is no longer out on the two-state solution. When the Oslo agreements were signed, it's basically when the two-state solution became the centerpiece of Israeli policy towards the Palestinians. There were proponents who promised sweeping benefits and opponents who warned of dire dangers. Quarter of a century later, none of the benefits have materialized, sure. and all the dangers have.
So the question again remains. Then I'll go back to what I said. If you've been saying this for so long, and other analysts have been saying similar things, and now we have President Zeman who says I don't get it. Yeah. So what is it that other EU leaders are missing?
Well, let me be a bit flippant. People used to be burnt at the stake for saying that the Earth was round. I think that the whole debate has been in the grip of the tyrannical dictates of political correctness, which have totally ignored political truths. I don't understand why anyone would support, especially liberals, why any liberal would support the establishment of yet another homophobic, misogynistic, Muslim-majority tyranny, which will be a bastion for jihadi terrorists. And I've heard no two-stater offer any convincing rationale why a Palestinian state wouldn't be that. I mean, we've already had a microcosm. We saw what happened in Gaza, which is exactly the homophobic, misogynistic, Muslim-majority tyranny. And there's no reason to believe that that won't happen in Judea and Samaria if the IDF was to withdraw, only on a grander scale.
I see. All right. So, speaking of Judea and Samaria and the West Bank, with the Palestinian Authority in charge there, is that a more legitimate body to be talking with?
No, I don't think so. I think that the Palestinians, I mean, you look for yourself. After a quarter of a century, they've managed to produce nothing except a corrupt kleptocracy with a minuscule economy, the bloated public sector, a minuscule private sector, totally dependent on foreign aid, despite huge foreign aid. Probably the only reason that Hamas hasn't taken it over is because the IDF is still deployed there.
Okay, so, I feel like a broken record, but this keeps bouncing me back to the same question. With all the things that you just said, which is fairly given. I mean, countries know how much they're giving to the Palestinian Authority, and they know how much is coming out. So why, it really begs the question, what is it that they have, why are they continuing on this path when it must be known to them? It must not be a secret that they're paying for what they're paying for.
As I said before, it's just that political correctness has taken control of the debate and totally obscured political truths. And I think Israel has a lot of blame to bear here, because Israel has been totally remiss in presenting its case. We've talked about it before. I think Israel should have a far more robust and resolute way of presenting these political truths. And new avenues how to deal with the Palestinians must be sought, because obviously the two-state solution is, even with its supporters, is near the end of its unholy life.
All right. Well, Dr. Sherman, thank you so much for coming in again.
Thank you.